I am so excited and grateful for you to be here. I am so excited about our coaching night tonight. We will go deep today because I have such an important topic that sometimes has a lot of resistance in our minds. So I would like to invite you to listen with an open mind and an open heart because this coaching night tonight could be very transformational for your life. And I hope that you can take away a new perspective of forgiveness. And I will guide you later on through a meditation, and maybe that will even help you to fully let go of a situation or some resentment that you are holding on to. But let's start at the beginning, what forgiveness actually is. Because forgiveness is not only saying I'm sorry or I forgive you to the other person, but it's a conscious decision. It's a process. And this process starts with this decision to let go of resentment, to let go of anger towards a person or even a group that hurt our feelings, that hurt us, that maybe even did us wrong. And the thing about forgiveness, though, or certain things where we feel that they are not forgiving, that we cannot forgive others because what they did was so bad, that we are forgiving for ourselves. We are the ones carrying the anger, the burden, the resentment. So we are the ones holding those emotions in our heart and living them over and over in our daily lives. So forgiving the other person is not for the other person, but for ourselves. So you have to understand that no matter what the other person did, that doesn't mean that it's right, but you forgiving the other person for what they did is just the best reaction to the situation. So I would invite you to see forgiveness through that lens, that you are reacting to whatever happens as like you forgiving now is the best reaction that you can have. And you don't do it for the other person. And it doesn't mean that whatever the other person did, that this is right. But it's right to let go of the feelings of anger, of resentment, and free yourself, because you are right now the one who's like the prisoner in your mind and in your heart. You are the one right now, whatever situation happened, those feelings that happened, sometimes even years ago, you are the one today recreating them over and over, even though you would have the possibility or the choice to live today in joy, in empathy, in compassion and love. And that's why forgiveness is so important, because we are the ones having this backpack with all the stones that we carry every day. So forgiving the other person is one by one taking out those stones and slowly disrupting the circle of hurt people. Because maybe you even know this from yourself, or maybe actually the person that you need to forgive is yourself. That sometimes we rationally know better, and yet we do things that hurt others, that are wrong, that are not aligned with the best version of ourselves. And that is often due to the wounds that we carry, that we were hurt, or we carry on emotions or patterns from our family. And even though we know better, it's almost like we can't do it better at that moment. And that's why it's also so important to forgive ourselves, to be compassionate with ourselves, because no matter even if we knew better, like if we would have really known it better and being able to do it better, we would have done it better. And that's why it's so important to also extend these feelings of compassion and empathy towards ourselves if we were wrong in certain situations ourselves. And forgiveness is basically the step of this cycle of hurt people over and over. Because when we hurt others, we never do it, or at least from my experience, we never do it out of mean thought, out of wanting to hurt others. But often we do it from a place of our own wounds, our own situations where we feel of lack, that we're not good enough, that we're not, that we're getting attacked. Very often from those places we hurt others. And that is this cycle of hurt people hurt people. And when we start to forgive, we are the hurt within ourselves. We're starting to heal that. And that allows others to do the same. So if we forgive others, we start a cycle of healed people heal people. And I would like to invite you to see forgiveness through that lens today. And as said, it is very important to me because there are people who do cruel things, and maybe you experience things that feel unforgiving, but you don't do it for the other person, and it doesn't mean that what the other person did is right. But it means that you are no longer holding on to your past, and you are freeing yourselves of these emotions of anger, resentment, grudge, and you are freeing your heart so there's place for empathy, for love, for all the beautiful emotions that you want to feel on a day-to-day basis. And you're basically saying, okay, the past was the past. It wasn't awesome, but I choose now to let the past be the past, and I choose a peaceful present, and I choose a peaceful future. And that's where forgiveness is so important, because you want to create a life full of love and empathy and your dream life, and you want to feel those amazing emotions. And to do so, forgiveness is just such an important part. And to forgiveness, another thing that I want to really underline is that it does not mean to gloss over things. There is sometimes in personal development, sometimes in spirituality, there's this toxic positivity that we immediately need to reframe situations. We need to think positive. We need to, we can't, feelings such as sadness, anger, and so on, they don't have a place. And that is toxic. That's basically really how it is, because those emotions have a message for you, and they want to be felt, and they need to be felt. But it's one thing to say, I'm not hurt at all. I don't feel anger. I'm just always happy. I'm always positive. But the truth is something else, and your heart feels heavy and you are hurt. And another thing is to hold on to these emotions for sometimes even years. So it's about allowing yourself to feel the emotions, because let's say you are hurt by a situation, that emotion has a message for you. That emotion wants to tell you that there was a boundary maybe hurt, or that there was a certain need of you not met. So that emotion actually has a very important message. And if you just push it away, whatever you resist persists. So that emotion will then not go through your body and be released again. So forgiving does not mean that you're glossing over things. And it doesn't mean that you just push away unpleasant feeling emotions. Every emotion has its place, and every emotion is very important to be felt. But on the other hand, we also don't want to hold on to them, especially if they are deep, intense emotions. Then we want to show mercy towards the other person and compassion. And the question is, how do we do that? Because yes, forgiveness in theory is very, we've heard it multiple times, and we know it's important to forgive, and we might rationally understand it, but it's another way to really forgive from the heart. And that's why I want you to be compassionate with yourself, even in your forgiveness process, because it sometimes really takes time. And if it's something like a deep childhood wound that you're carrying, it might take years to you fully forgive it, and there any kind of resentment and anger is gone. And in that process, it might be so important that you feel those emotions and you allow yourself to be angry, to be mad, to be hurt, to be sad. But when you feel it, you can heal it. So in that process, while you feel those emotions, you can let them go. And sometimes diving into them is the path to forgiveness and to actually let go of them, and to maybe from feelings of anger, frustration, hurt, get to a neutral point. Like maybe that is for the first step, the first goal, and not immediately jumping to feelings of love and compassion and fully understanding. Because let's say our parents, like they've tried our best, but maybe their best was just not good enough at all and not meeting your needs at all. And to now say like, okay, it's all forgiven, even though your inner child is very hurt, might be a very hard process. And to have the standard to yourself to like, okay, I need to forgive. I need to have full compassion for my parents, which might be the ultimate goal. But maybe right now it's just the easiest and best to say like, okay, I just want to let go of the feelings of resentment and anger. And I want to get to a point of where it's not weighing me down anymore. Whatever comes after, comes after. But right now I'm just choosing to let go. And how we do that is, as I said at the beginning, is a conscious decision. But then there's so much more. There's like a big emotional process that comes with forgiveness, and also an energetic one. And a huge part of the energetic forgiveness and this energetic ties that are with you and the situation and with you and the person, which means even if you feel feelings of hate towards another person, you are still connected with that person. And you want to free yourself and cut off these energetic cords. And to do that, besides a process of called cord cutting, which we'll do as well, Ho'oponopono is a wonderful, beautiful process. It's an old and ancient Hawaiian ritual, and it used to be for families, if there were on the island troubles within families, then healers used that ritual to reconciliate the families in Hawaii again. And then there was one of the biggest proponents of Ho'oponopono, which means making things right again. So Ho'oponopono, the ritual itself, stands for everything in the universe is always in perfect accordance. Everything is in perfect match and in perfect correlation and intertwining. But then sometimes things happen, we make things wrong, humans make things wrong, and that makes things kind of unbalanced. And through the ritual of Ho'oponopono, we can balance it again. We can get it back to being right. And a very, very famous person who is a huge proponent of the ritual Ho'oponopono is Dr. Hugh Len. And what he did is an absolutely fascinating story. So there was an old, it was a clinic in Hawaii, and there was one department where they had mental ill people. And they were very, very mentally ill, who also did some crimes. So it was really intense things such as rape, such as killing people. And this whole department was that people, I think, were in this department to see if they are mentally fit enough to be taken to court. And this department was terrible for all the people working there. It was each day there were attacks between the inmates, there were attacks from them to the employees, to the nurses, and there was so much sickness leave because the nurses couldn't stand working there anymore, and it was a huge disaster. The inmates were never allowed to go outside because every time they went out of their cells, they were just attacking people. And it was an absolute disaster and really like horror scenario. And then Dr. Hugh Len came there, and there were many before him who had kind of the job to, like many psychologists especially, who had the job to get the place to help the people so people are less angry and less attacking each other, and to get it to a more calm and peaceful place. But everybody failed, and within a few months, everybody before Dr. Hugh Len just left again. And then he came and he had an office, and all he did was every day he walked to his office. Sometimes he asked for the files of the inmates, but he never saw anybody. So all he did was sitting in his office with the files of the inmates, and then over time, people were not really knowing what he was doing in there. And over time, things got better. So over time, people started, there were less attacks, no matter if it's like onto each other and the inmates or the nurses. It got so good that people were even allowed to go outside. They started to patch up the tennis courts there. They started to, like, everything started to develop and get way more harmonious. And then there were even inmates who were allowed to go have their trial. Some were spoken free. Some had work to do, like, what is it called? The work kind of, if you do a punishment and then you have to work it off for several hours. And in the end, there were only a few inmates left, and those were just situated to a different clinic or a different prison, and the whole clinic or that department of the clinic was closed down. And that was in all newspapers and all media. And then Dr. Hugh Len was asked, like, what did he do that he managed to get it so peaceful that, like, nurses were not calling in sick anymore. There were no attacks, like what he did. And it was especially fascinating to the media because he wasn't in contact with the inmates. And he said he was basically practicing the ritual Ho'oponopono. And it has those 4 steps. So step number 1 of Ho'opono is to say, I'm sorry. And with the first step saying, I'm sorry, you take full ownership of the situation. And Dr. Hugh Len says that even the situations with those inmates, even no matter what situations is in your perception, has something to do with you. And to say, I'm sorry, is taking full responsibility that this situation is in my life, is in my world, and therefore I take responsibility. I take ownership of it. And a big part of this feeling or this step is also to feel the feeling of, like, I take responsibility. I might have done something wrong, and to fully allow yourself to feel that feeling of hurt, that feeling of guilt, that feeling of shame maybe. So in the first step, you dive into this feeling, because only if you feel it, it can be healed. And step number 2 is then to connect with a higher power of your understanding. So this can be God, the universe, this can be infinite love. This could be just your future self if you don't believe in anything spiritual or a power higher than you, or just with your inner wisdom. So you connect with whatever you believe in, and you say the words, please forgive me. And with that, once again, you're saying that you did wrong. This being in your field, in your energy field, like you're asking for permission you're asking for mercy. And then the third step is saying thank you. Thank you for taking this from me. Thank you for releasing this. Thank you for giving me mercy. Thank you for shifting this energetically. Thank you for taking this from me. And step number 4 are the words, I love you. And love is the ultimate force, the ultimate power that is higher than anything, that has the highest frequency. And by taking step number 4, you're stepping into this frequency of love. And you may repeat it several times and allow yourself to really feel this love for yourself, your body, the world, the higher power that you're connected with, no matter if it's God, the universe, or your inner wisdom. And you're shifting by saying finally the words, I love you. You're shifting from grudge, resentment, whatever you felt at the beginning, to love, the universal feeling and the strongest feeling on the whole world. And I would like to take you now through a meditation in which we are going through that process. So I would like you to take a comfortable seat. And before we start, think of a situation that you might need or you might want to forgive. It can be yourself, it can be another person, it can be a group, it can be just the situation itself. Maybe you're even holding on a grudge to life that this happened to you. So whatever you feel that you would like to shift and that you would like to forgive yourself or others, think of that situation and then take a comfortable seat. Put your hands in your lap or on your knees and gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out over your mouth. Another deep breath in through your nose and exhale over your mouth. Maybe you had a long day. Maybe there was a lot going on. Just breathe in with every new breath. With every inhale, breathe in new, fresh energy. And with every exhale, let go. Arrive fully in the here and now. Allow yourself to be fully present. Now, put all your focus and attention into your heart. Your beautiful heart that beats over 100,000 times per day without you having to do anything. Your heart is the first organ that ever existed. Your first sign of existence. And while you connect with your heart, think of something that you are deeply grateful for right now. Might be a person, maybe an event you experienced today or within the last days, a circumstance, or maybe even a small thing, such as having a wonderful cup of tea today. Having the sun on your face. Or maybe just for being here right now and taking time for yourself. Taking care of yourself. Allow this beautiful feeling of gratitude to flood your heart. And now, diving into this feeling of gratitude, think of a place that gives you safety, love, comfort, a place that you just love and that you feel joyful and happy in. Can be your own home, can be the beach, or just something in your imagination. A beautiful field. Just imagine a wonderful place that gives you all the love, peace, and happiness you so deserve. And while we're going now into the process of forgiveness, Whenever you repeat the word internally or out loud, whenever you repeat the word love, you're immediately brought back to this place, and your body will just release all these beautiful feelings of safety, calmness, love, peace, and gratitude. All you have to do is think of the word love. And while you're sitting here, you're thinking again of the situation that you would like to forgive. And if you're feeling okay with it, imagine the person that hurt you right in front of you. If you feel like it's too much, just stay at the beautiful place that you just imagined and enjoy the beautiful feelings of gratitude, love, and compassion. But if you feel like you're ready to forgive, if you feel like this is the first step of your forgiveness process, then imagine whoever wronged you right in front of you. And if you feel like you need to forgive yourself, see your past self in front of you. See yourself through the time when you made that mistake, when you maybe hurt someone right in front of you. And we will now together go through the process, the beautiful Hawaiian ritual, Ho'oponopono. And the first step of this beautiful ritual is for you to connect with a higher source, a higher power of your understanding. God, the universe, your higher self, the wisdom within. Just connect with it by setting the intention to foster this connection. And we will now go through the 4 sentences of Ho'oponopono. Repeat after me while thinking of the situation that you want to forgive. I am sorry. And allow yourself to feel those feelings of hurt, maybe shame, maybe sadness. And if you want, you can repeat over and over in your mind, I am so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so, so sorry. Please forgive me. If you want, repeat it again over and over. Please forgive me. Please forgive me that I drew this scene into my life, that I drew this situation into my life. Please forgive me that I might have made a mistake. Please forgive me that I could have not been pure love in situations where I was hurt. Please forgive me that I had to go through painful, hurtful events. Please forgive me that those were part of my life. Please, please forgive me. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And exhale over your mouth. And while you do so, feel how lightness, release, letting go. Feel how all these weights and these heavy emotions that weigh you down, how they're just being released. How a higher power takes it from you. How it's been taken from you and you fully let go. And now repeat after me. Thank you. Thank you for taking this from me. Thank you for forgiving me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And flood every cell of your body with this beautiful feeling of gratitude. Thank you for allowing that this is no longer part of my life. Thank you for taking this from my heart. Thank you for letting this be part of my past. And that I can now create a beautiful new future. Thank you that I have now peace of mind, that I am free. I love you. Repeat over and over in your mind, I love you. I love you. And feel how the energy and frequency of love just flashes your whole body. How you are pure love. And by repeating over and over, I love you, how you are tuning into this wonderful frequency of pure love, which is your natural state. I love you. And now focus again on the image of the person that you want to forgive. And see from your heart to his or hers a golden cord. It's a cord that's made out of love and light. And this cord is the energetic connection that you still have with that person or that situation or the past version of yourself. And now imagine how your higher self, an angel, or whatever you believe in, is flying just right in between the two of you. And your higher self, your guardian angel, has a golden sword. And he takes this golden sword and now divides this cord that still connects you and the other person. It's being cut right now. And you see both ends falling to the ground and this cord fully dissolving. Which means the energetic connection between you and the other person is fully dissolved. That situation is fully dissolved and you are free. Take another deep breath in through your nose. Sigh it out over your mouth. And enjoy this wonderful feeling of releasing, of freedom, of peace of mind. Maybe you notice even compassion or are still tuned into the frequency of love. And now place your hands in front of your heart. Bow before yourself, the beautiful, compassionate, forgiving person that you are. And whenever you're ready, open your eyes and come back to the here and now. Welcome back. I hope you're feeling amazing and lighter than before. If there were tears, it's part of the healing process. Allow yourself to feel those tears. And if you still have questions or if you still need support, you can message me. I'm still here for you. And I hope you enjoyed this coaching night. I definitely so enjoyed the time with you. I hope that this is the first step of a more free, a more compassionate, a more loving version of you. And I'm saying thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm just sending you so much love. If you still need something, message me. I'm here. And other than that, I will see you next week. Thank you so much for being part of this wonderful community.